Yo!
Yeah, another podcast. Who would have seen this coming?
We back.
And this is almost our lockdown edition, I'd say, although not exclusively about our lockdown experience.
The COVID-19 special edition.
Nice. We've got more to talk about, and we've got actual questions we're going to try and answer. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You can go first.
Right. So, as we know with a lot of people, they tend to keep like a lot of diaries about the situation, just so they can look back at it. And for us, it's particularly important because as historians, we're going to look back at this very, very curiously, because very differently from what other people look at.
This podcast is going to be the Samuel Pepys diary of coronavirus.
No, more kind of the Bridget Jones's diary after the coronavirus.
Or a certain other female person from history's diary.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about it. So just to get a quick scope of this, of course we've talked about this in our old podcast. It wasn't until like mid-November that we actually moved into here. In January we went on a trip to Paris. And oh, careful.
I'm good.
That's rolled all the way under the chair.
Right, I'll stop that while you monologue.
Yeah, right. This is off to a brilliant start already.
Hey, it's no worries. Unscripted is better, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. So, obviously we come back to it, and as soon as we get back from Paris, this is like, I'm going to say January 24th, when we got back from Paris.
I think so.
We got Paris, and then, not long after that, we had the first coronavirus case in Paris, and we were a bit suspicious and all that.
Yes,
And safe to say, when we went shopping for the first time after coming back, we were a bit hesitant with what to expect. But we managed to get over it, and it was calm. Fast forward 2 months, and things have changed quite a bit. And there's this consideration of having a lockdown to help against the pandemic.
So I burst into Ben's room because I got a text off my dad warning about it. Cause he's a medic, and apparently they've been like informed early or something. So I burst into Ben's room. What was I saying, Ben?
Here's Johnny!
Well, you've burst into my room plenty of times, but I know the previous time you did that was talking about a perfect sniper position from my window if there was a war.
True.
But you basically said something on the lines of there's going to be a pandemic, the army's possibly getting involved, which is just not realistic. Okay, maybe it was realistic, but it was not true.
Well, I don't know.
It was something like this. It's a while ago. My brain's gone dead.
I may have panicked very slightly.
You may have panicked. Yeah, let's say that. Finn panicked a bit, and he said he's going to go home. Was it that day? You were literally packing as you came to talk to me.
Yeah.
So you went home that day. This is like, I'm going to say March 18th? Earlier than that?
Mate, I don't know how your memory's that good.
My memory's banging. And all I know is that I contact my mum and say, tomorrow, can you pick me up? So I stayed the extra day. And do you know what's funny is, I actually started doing video diaries about this. I recorded one the night before you came to talk to me, saying that we're probably going to stay here for a little bit. Literally the next one I record, I went home. Finn went home, we're not staying in the flat. So he goes back to Malton, I go back to Peterborough, and at the time it's calm.
Do you know what would have been great?
What?
If that night lockdown had happened, so you'd been stuck here on your own, and I'd have been.
Jeez, I don't know if I could. I've got to be around people. I can't be by myself. Like, my brain's a scary place. I can't be by myself.
I don't know. Would have been quite funny. Just come back, there's just shit smeared all over the walls.
Yeah, it's painted in some sort of like hieroglyphics that
Back
summons the devil.
chicken wrap.
Back chicken wrap and hieroglyphics painted with shit.
Jesus.
How did we think of this? How have we got off on such a massive tangent?
I think that's the point.
Alright. Before we go off into something more stupid, let's just finish the stories and all that.
Yep.
So I go back, and for the first few weeks it's calm. Bear in mind, this is the early stage. We think at most it's going to be about 4 weeks. We even addressed this as you were going, saying it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. I'll see you again soon. The early stages, we didn't know what we were getting into.
Yeah, I think my first prediction was 4 weeks.
Yeah, so we honestly did not expect it was going to be long, and I'm pretty sure no one expected it was going to be this long. But anyway, if we continue, by the end of March though, my mum decides to adopt 2 dogs. And it just came out of nowhere, and then she formalised the adoption. Originally it was just fostering, and then we fully adopted 2 dogs within a week.
Eddie and Ben.
I love them now, but I was pissed off with my mum. I said, Mum, you just got 2 dogs without telling us. I wasn't happy about it. You just got 2 dogs, and I had no idea until you mentioned it, literally the day they came.
Sorry, but two surprise dogs, for me, that's just like the perfect scenario. I don't know why you could be possibly mad at that.
I'm just thinking about it logically, because those dogs need to be taken care of, and my brother and sister are useless, so it's me, my mum, and my dad who are going to be looking after them. And so I like to be informed of stuff I'm going to be doing beforehand. It's like if you got told you're going to be helping with the building work, and like a day before it happens, like you're like, okay, what? Like you got told you have to help with an essay thing the day before it gets due. I'm sorry, what? Like, where did this come from? Like I know that I definitely love them now, but at the time I was like, this is at the time it's just an inconvenience for me because now it's more responsibilities that's just been dropped on my lap within like 5 hours before it happens. So I wasn't happy with my mum for a while, but
the difference is if you find out you have to do an exam or that you have to do housework, the housework doesn't look like that.
fair point.
You can put this in this bit of the video. Just look at that face.
I know they're adorable, but I was pissed off that I just didn't get told about it. It's more the fact I was left out of any decision making regarding something that I would be involved in.
Look, Ben, I just feel like maybe you are taking a wonderful, wonderful gift and just spinning it to a negative side. I think it's perfect.
When Bear barks, he sounds like a chicken. We literally call his nickname is Chicken.
I like that.
And Eddie's his cat because he likes rubbing up against people.
Oh.
No, literally. Later I'll show you some videos of it. Actually, you know what? Cue a clip of Bear barking now and tell me if he sounds like a chicken. Right, we're back. I quickly had to show Finn the video I've just edited in so he could respond to it.
That's precious. I find nothing annoying about that at all. Maybe it's the fact that I don't have to live with them, but honestly.
Yeah, no, you don't. You really don't. They can be very irritating sometimes, but I love them on a whole. All right, I'm not hating on them now. It's just at the time, it was just a huge surprise to me. Literally, they decided to do it. We've always talked about getting another dog. Never mind 2 dogs.
Big dogs.
But the problem is, it's always been talk. And then I got told just one weekend it's actually happening. Okay, shouldn't we have just had a big discussion about this beforehand?
They did for years, Ben. They kept talking. You thought it was nothing. They were actually putting it in.
Does that mean I have to be very concerned about you with the things you've said?
Nah, mate. Nah, we don't talk about that. But it was a similar thing for me when I was younger because my parents always used to talk about moving back to Yorkshire.
Right.
But I always just thought they were like saying, oh, like one day is in like 2030 or something.
Yeah.
And 2010 comes around, they're like, oh yeah, 2 months we're moving house. I was like, oh no, that's not good. That's wrong.
Yeah, I feel like things like this need to have a very serious discussion. Especially since we've never taken care of 2 dogs before. We've always had one, whether it's like looking after someone else's dogs or our own dog. So it was a new experience to say the least, but I've gotten used to it now.
I think it's better to have multiple dogs because they can sort of entertain each other.
Yeah, that's what we came to. And also they came as a pair. Like they were impossible to separate. I kid you not. I say that. Bear can leave Eddie, but Eddie can't leave Bear. But the problem is that Eddie's like almost a perfect dog. I think it's just because he's around Bear that's why they were not, very adoptable up to this point. But he's got character. That's what I say. He wouldn't fit in my family if he didn't have a lot of character.
Yeah.
But they're both very bizarre dogs, Eddie and Bear.
In what way?
Oh.
Be nice.
Oh, what's Eddie's favourite thing? Oh my god. When you go on a poo round in the garden and you finish picking up the last one, Eddie will look you in the eyes, squat over and squeeze out another one.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks Ed, really appreciate that.
Yeah, because he knows that you're doing it. Says like, oh, while you're here, let me just get this one out so that I don't have to save you the trouble of going for another round later. I think he's being considerate.
I think they're both impossible when it comes to walks. They're good with people, they're good with cars, but they will go for other dogs. Bear got off a leash once and went for 2 dogs. Literally, he got 1 dog, decided that's not enough, went for another dog.
What do you mean got them?
He went after him, started no.
What, like properly? Or?
Properly.
Oh.
It wasn't anything serious, but he didn't stay enough with 1 dog for long enough to do any serious damage. He just went off picking fights with every dog he can find. And here I am, holding a massive German Shepherd, Eddie, giving him back on his leash, like, Eddie, no, and he wants to go for it as well. He's whimpering like,
Oh.
I'm like, what are you doing? So it's safe to say, Dad and I learned, yeah, because the problem is though, he had one on his collar, so he slipped the collar, so we had to get one that goes around their necks, like an actual rope one.
Well, you should.
And we also got one that has a that you can
Harness.
attach. Harness is one. We got a harness.
They're
My mu-
better, especially for boisterous dogs, because if they're like running and running, they'll like choke themselves.
Yes, that's
on
what
the
we do.
neck ones. So
It's also got one underneath, so if he tries to pull forward it grabs it, it pulls him back from his chest instead of
Yeah.
from his neck, so it's much easier to control him. I've
Yeah.
used it, it's quite easy. My mum ordered them, and we started calling them Jackie Jackets after that. And it's like, I said, we all get some Jackie Jackets. And she spends so much on the dogs. She's got like these custom food, because they always eat their food too quickly. And
Yeah.
it causes problems. She's got these like weird food bowl, which is like got loads of shapes around it, so it's hard for them to actually get to all of it, so it slows down their eating.
okay.
They've got dog beds, they've got different kinds of leashes. They've got a dog paddling pool thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I think my mum spent more on the dogs in the past 4 months than she spent on me in the previous 4 years.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Respect the grind for mum, my mother, the ultimate dog lover.
Dogs are perfect. Well, how old are they?
Eddie is the younger one, he's 6 and Barry's 7.
Okay, so they're still like spry and stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're not old dogs by any means. So what we've been trying to do with walks is the problem is that Bear, as soon as he goes out, will yap and yap and yap the entire walk. So what we do is when he does yap, I stand still, yank him back, and I look at him and go, Bear, quiet. And that usually works, and he quiets, and as long as he's quiet, we can move off again. And sometimes we take him out individually, but the other one just gets fretful. Once I caught Eddie on my windowsill, looking out my window.
Nice.
Like, and Eddie's a big dog, he's about this big,
Yeah.
about half as tall as me. Like, I look at him and go, Eddie, how did you get up there? He just looks at me and goes, looks back again at the window. He's a very curious dog. And Bear will panic for a while, but then he'll just lie down and basically go to sleep. Bear has favourite sleeping spots, and he just likes walking around as a proper guard dog. We call Eddie the guard dog, and Bear's the early warning system because of his yap. Seriously, we've come up with so many nicknames for him because of it. We call Eddie Love Island because he's such a gorgeous dog, and Bear is Geordie Shore. I call Eddie proper dog, and Bear's B-Tech dog.
Oh no, that's not fair.
They accuse me of bullying Bear. Maybe I do to a certain degree, but I love him lots, and he needs that character. Anyway, I got dogs. That's all I said. That was my lockdown. I haven't done really anything else in lockdown. I'm serious not. I haven't really done anything. I caught up with a lot of my friends, I suppose, but that was like the first 3 weeks, and then after that, I've just formed back into my small circle of like me and 2 of my friends, and that's it.
I'm good now. I wanted to talk about dogs for longer.
Do you want to get over your experiences first, and then we can talk about dogs? Because I don't know about you, we're 6 minutes in, and we've just talked about Ben's dogs, which is not a bad topic, but
Yeah, it's a brilliant topic.
more variety.
face.
I know he's absolutely gorgeous.
Whoa, what do you mean he's? Look at that face.
He's adorable.
Exactly.
Bear is adorable. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah.
He's a scrap. Like, if you look at both of them,
Yes.
who do you think is the more aggressive of the 2?
Well, Bear. Probably.
Yeah, Bear. He's a little scrappy. He's got scars all over his body and most of his legs. But he's a little scrapper.
He's an absolute unit.
He is a unit though. So God forbid we're on a walk and we have another dog, because they will lurch or they are going for it. So it's up to you to hold them back. And I can confirm now, I can hold Eddie back, and Bear's easy enough. So we got like actual leads. We've also got extendable leads to get them used to going off on their own, because we can't trust them to go off on their own.
Yeah.
But we've been experimenting recently, and they do go off on their own. And when we call, they do come back. So I know I let them off. They go forward. I say me. Usually we're all together as at least 2 of us, so that's easy enough. But we let them off. They go running off, and I go, boys, here. And then usually Eddie will notice. Bear won't. So Eddie always comes back before Bear.
Okay.
But once Bear didn't come back, so Eddie ran off, grabbed the bunny and pulled him back. Like, come on, you little bastard, we got to go back to the parents. So Eddie's the proper loyal German Shepherd, you know. He's the guy. He walks around the garden, he barks at anything that causes mischief or noise, and Bear is a faulty fire alarm, I suppose.
Oh.
Like it's a perfect blend. You've got the handsome pedigree, and you've got the adorable little mongrel.
Jesus Christ.
We don't know what breeds he is, but my dad made the joke saying he's part German Shepherd, part Border Collie, and part idiot. So that's the common joke about us when they ask us, oh, what breeds of it? Do you know breeds? My mum actually calls them flavours.
Oh, I hate
I
that.
said some
I
flavour.
hate
Do you have a
that.
breed of ice cream and a flavour of dog mum?
Jeez, that's horrendous.
I don't know why she calls it. She's like, oh, I love those flavours. Oh no, you don't eat a dog. I don't want you to eat a dog.
Flavour. No, not a fan. Not a fan.
Alright. Enough of the dogs right now. Seriously, on a real note, we have Finn's story to get through, which is a little bit more interesting than mine.
Is it? I literally just sat inside, start of lockdown, I just sort of chilled inside, decided to try and lose a bit of weight, which went really well, but now I've been here for nearly 2 weeks, and the amount of fast food I've eaten since coming back here has already undone all of my good work.
I was on the healthy grind before lockdown, but the problem is I was continuing when I got into lockdown, but the treadmill at home broke. I lost a lot of the weights on the dumbbells, which got my weight, which I wanted to use. And so because of that, as the inconvenience, I sort of just like relaxed it a bit, and then it got to the point now where I don't do anything.
Yeah. I think the thing that changed it for me was, you know all those memes where it's like, oh, the boy's coming out of lockdown, it's like, oh, the one who shaved his head, the one who got really fat and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was ones where it's like, oh, everyone coming out of lockdown, and it shows like loads of fat people. I was like, oh, I'm already fat. Oh, no, I can't be super fat when we get out. So if anything, I think I started, I was like the opposite. I started losing weight. I started going for runs at night, because it's cooler, so you can like go further like too overheated. I decided I still wanted to eat what I wanted to eat. Like I wasn't gonna say like, oh, you can't have this bag of crisps. But the way I did it was in like reductions. So it's like if you have this bag of crisps now, you're not having another one for so and so time.
Right, that makes sense.
So you can still eat what you want, just less of it. Which I think worked really well, because you still get hitting those cravings and stuff. You're not suffering in that regard.
Yeah.
But you still, it all comes down to calories at the end of the day, which I didn't realise for a long time, which was probably quite obvious. If you burn more calories than you consume, you will lose weight. That's a fact. So I've just been doing that, and yeah, going quite well.
I think it's safe to say that once I'm going to assume that we're allowed to actually go back to uni like physically in September, and once the gyms open again, we're going to hit a much healthier grind.
Well, Pure Gym opens in about a week, I believe, and the university plan for the first semester of next year is to do some of the lectures and seminars online, and some of them at the actual uni.
Yeah, it's mixed.
Which doesn't really make sense to me, because that means we don't have access to as many resources, so the learning quality is going to be worse. But we're still going into uni and interacting with people. So
Yeah.
we could still very well.
On the first note, but because we're doing a dissertation, we only do 4 modules the entire next year. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's a bit lax. For the dissertation, we just do it on our own. So
That's true.
oh no, Finn.
Oh shit.
I think you might be able to do good work with it. You just, no.
Tried.
I didn't even convince myself.
Yeah, you tried to throw me a bone there, but it can't be.
I tried. No, because by this point that we're recording this, I've been in the flat with him for about 3 days now, and it's safe to say that
the productivity has not been ideal.
the first day we literally burnt ourselves out doing one piece of work that was a few hundred words. Because it's just like we just don't. Our minds just go everywhere but where we're supposed to be.
I think it also doesn't help that we both have different attitudes as to how to do it.
Yeah.
So like you believe in literally just like going into a fugue state and absolutely demolishing some work.
Yeah.
I'm only like that when I absolutely have to at the end of a deadline. In other cases,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's just.
If I spread out the work throughout an entire day, I become mentally exhausted. Because even when I'm relaxing, I'm just thinking about the next work we're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have a certain time period. I guess like 2 hours in a day when I would actually do the work and then just go, right, I'm done. I'm just gonna leave it for a while, maybe till tomorrow or a week or never. So basically, lockdown experiences, trying to get fit, getting dogs, but not really much else besides that. Even though it's been 4+ months now, a lot of these just like merged together. I can't recall a lot of what happened.
Well, I started trying a lot more recipes at one point. I think everyone tried to do something like that. A lot of people did like baking and stuff. A lot of people did sewing and stuff.
Yeah.
This last that I know started making these like clay pots and stuff, which mad. But yeah, I tried
Pottery.
Yeah, took up pottery.
Took up pottery. Mad.
Yeah.
That is actually mental.
Self-taught. She started an Instagram page and everything. Like, You got to think how many people must have discovered like a new passion or a new hobby
Oh yeah.
over this lockdown. I think that's a wonderful thing. So like I picked up like a few new recipes. I sort of gave up on that after a while because it got the amount of panic buying that was happening. A load of ingredients were getting really difficult to get. Because I live in a very conservative part of the country, and you just know it's the Tory voters that were doing the panic buying.
Yeah, remember the panic buying stage of lockdown?
Yeah.
Coincidentally, with the optimistic and the Tiger King part of lockdown, that's like the first
Yes.
last couple of weeks.
Yes, that is that era. Yeah.
It seems like such a long time ago. It seems like a whole different time period, like a whole different
Age.
century.
It really does. But yeah, beyond that, I also learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube,
Nice.
which is pretty cool.
Transferable skill.
Well, I mean, anyone who doesn't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, when they see someone solve a Rubik's Cube, goes, "Oh my god!" Like it's
Just for that reaction.
yeah.
Just because of that, just because you said that now, if you ever solve a Rubik's Cube in front of me, I'm just going to go, I've seen better.
That's fine. That's what my parents do now. Because I've solved Rubik's Cubes that many times in front of them because of lockdown. Because they're the only people that I can solve it in front of for ages.
Ooh, that's the next question. Who are you locked down with?
Just my parents.
Yeah, I decided to go back home, so I've got my mum, my dad, my younger brother, and my younger sister, and of course 2 dogs. So there's a lot more.
Oh, I got the fish.
You got the fish.
Yeah.
I forgot about the fish.
The fish are. I mean, we were talking about bear being a unit, but Il Pesce is huge. He is.
Are you challenging me?
Yeah, I would love to see a scrap in water between bear and Il Pesce.
Oh, but Bear's off. He hates water. He hates.
Can you say that word in 2020?
Bear is a real
Coward?
coward. Alright. I might have to censor that. To be honest.
Yeah. Don't trim it out. Just censor it.
Just, yeah. If anyone really wants to know what I said, and I hope you don't, then
It
just ask.
is a cushioned stool-like object. You put your feet up next to like a sofa or whatever. You know about
Yeah, that's probably the best description you can give.
that? Yes.
But yeah, Bear doesn't like water and he doesn't like the rain. But I'll tell you what though, when we had some biscuits, we gave him some biscuits and we left them outside, some were still in the grass. He looked outside when it was raining and was like, rain or food? He went for the food. He hates the rain, but he wanted the food that much.
I respect that. You're learning about his priorities.
Oh, but he and Eddie are begs when they want food, but you can't resist them. You just look at them. He's got the lollygag on lock as well.
Oh,
He just looks and goes,
the little turn. I didn't know what you meant by that.
that's the lollygag.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm googling this, but when I Google this, I'd love to watch Il Pesce fight bear. He's the biggest goldfish I've ever seen that isn't a pond fish. You know, he's the biggest
Right.
goldfish I've ever seen in a tank.
Like the video and subscribe if you want to see the fight between El Pesce and Bear.
Maybe a quick fight. Oh, we could do Eddie versus the other 2 fish in the undercard. That'd be a bit of a quicker fight, though. I think they're a lot smaller.
And his jaw is about that big, mate.
Yes, he could just swallow.
When he bites him, you literally hear a
Nice.
more threatening than my hands clapping, but you know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway. So we talked about lockdown stories. So at the risk of making sure that this podcast may go on too long like the last one, because Jesus, that take a long time.
Well, I just wanna stress. Towards the end of lockdown, as regulations have been reduced and regulations have been definitely, absolutely, 100% followed at all times.
Yes.
I dare anyone to prove otherwise. You can't prove otherwise. I've been like really wanting to get outside more and just like enjoy the good weather, because a couple of weeks ago the weather was brilliant. It was just so nice. And I used to I'd be driving into the shop and I'd see people cycling on their bikes, because where I live there's like loads of rivers everywhere, so people tend to go to different spots at the river to like swim and just hang about and stuff. And I'd see like groups of about 20 lads on bikes cycling to these river spots. And I just think, right, well, you're not obeying social distancing now. I can see a bunch of you giving each other croggies and stuff. So, wait, do you call it a croggy?
I don't think so.
Okay, croggies where like you get on someone else's bike, kind of.
Oh, right, no, we've got a different word for that, but no.
What do you call it?
I have no idea.
fair enough.
I can't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's different names for it across the country. But yeah, people are giving each other croggies. And I'm like, you're not obeying social distancing, so you're not going to be in the water. So I dealt with this for about a week, and then I got too pissed off at it. I just contacted a load of my mates. I was like, right, we're going to head down to the river. We're going to go for a swim. It's going to be chill. It had to be done. And I'm so glad I did it, because it was so nice. I recorded some of it, and I think I'm going to put it in a video soon. When I actually have time to edit.
Just to let you all know, he's got many videos that he's recorded but not edited yet because of other responsibilities.
Also, to be fair, a lot of them got archived and now I can't find them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I've lost about 4 videos that way.
Were they good ones?
3 of them were.
What were they food reviews?
One of them was not good. One of them there was a reason why I didn't.
Speaking of which, we may do a mukbang with 2 of our mates if we can actually get them round.
Ollie, Scott, this is a call out. We're grabbing you.
That's the thing with those guys. Like whenever uni's done, they're going home.
Yeah.
We don't see them again.
But we just got to get them because
We'll try.
they add an extra angle to this dynamic.
Oh yes.
I think it's good. But anyway, so what I've been doing, sorry, going back to the swimming story, I've been scouring the rivers of North Yorkshire. I've been walking along them at length to find different
I can just
places.
imagine the imagery I'm putting in right now while you're describing this.
Just me in like a Kangol hat and a machete breaking down the brush. There's the Zulu theme by John Barry played.
Oh god. Continue.
But yeah, basically, I'm not going to say the name of it or anything, but I have found maybe the whitest village in the country, and it is the most stereotypical sort of like white middle class, you know, like cricket on the village green eating strawberries and clotted cream, you know, sort of town village thing. And honestly, it might be because I've only been there when the weather's nice, you know, because of the whole river situation.
Yeah.
But it just seems so nice and tranquil there, just this little village life, and I'm obsessed, I'm addicted. I want to go back there as often as possible, and it's not just for the river spot that there is available there. It's so nice. But yeah, story over.
I've never seen you so passionate about something. Well, I have.
Not about a village though.
Not about a village. It's certainly a place you want to visit again, and maybe you even want to retire there at some point.
Yeah, so I would like to live there. It is just wonderful. And it's not because I said it's the whitest village. That is not why I said I want to live there.
I didn't even assume that, but okay.
Disclaimer, just because of how it's like out of the way of everything, but only by a few miles.
Right.
So you can, you know, you can go to the shops and stuff without too much of a bother. But you're still out of the way. And it's peaceful. You can just hear like people having fun in the village. You can hear dogs barking. You can hear the stream.
Oh, very nice.
And you can hear the trees. And it's just tranquil. So if we stay silent here for a second, you can hear the cars out there on the road.
Yeah, we are in the middle of Leeds.
And that's the case where I live as well. I live in a rural town, but because there's a dual carriageway bypass, you can still hear cars. In this village, you cannot hear that. You can hear the trees.
Yeah, there's a railway not too far from where I am, so sometimes I can hear trains there at home.
Oh, I hate that.
Anyway, to make sure I don't want this to risk getting too long and too tedious to edit. So,
Well, at the end of the day...
should we just
at
skip
the
to
end
the
of
questions?
At the end of the day, what you could always do is you could always edit this into small podcasts on specific topics, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like 10-minute videos.
Maybe.
That's
That's what I did with the vlog comparing Rome to Paris. Rome is an entire just one long video, but with Paris it's separated into days.
Doing that sort of thing based on topic would be good because it would enable you to edit them and get them out faster.
All right.
And I don't know, also just sort of come up with different
So
ideas.
this basically has 2 parts. 3 parts. Lockdown stories, my dogs, and these questions.
Woo! A dog. All right, I'm just gonna watch the dog one. I want you to know that now. I won't be watching you.
All right. Should we just skip on with questions? I've got about 20 here if we can
Hit me
answer.
with your best shot.